This is the story of the child in the trees and the woman who waited. Ello was a little girl, barely bigger than a fairy-sprite herself. She liked to climb trees. In fact, you could say she lived in them, up in the canopy, between the high branches and the swaying leaves. She would whisper, often to no one, "I'm all alone in this world, but I'm strong and getting stronger." And she was alone, except for Treena, her fairy-sprite companion. But Ello would say Treena wasn't really separate. Treena was part of her, the bright winged part that dared to dart and hide. When Treena was frightened, she flew. Up, 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 way high, near the tippy-top, so high that sunlight poured through the thin branches like glass. Ello would follow, climbing quick as a squirrel, hand over foot, foot over foot, almost as fast as Treena's wings. One day they came close to a cabin. It smelled of wood smoke and herbs. The kind woman who lived there was named Yin. She was bent in her garden, tending lavender and morning glory, tomatoes and purple beans. The sun pressed hard on her back, so she stood to stretch. When she shaded her eyes, she noticed something unusual in the trees. A small shape, curled tight, still as a leaf. A child, though at first she doubted her own sight. How could one so small rest so high above? And where was her family? She did not yet see Treena. Treena was hidden, tucked into the crook of Ello's elbow, invisible unless you knew to look. Yin was curious. She was cautious too. She had lived long enough to know that the forest held more than what first met the eye. So she began slowly. She set out food, not on the ground, but on a flat stone near the roots of the nearest tree. Honey biscuits, strawberries still warm from the sun. At first Ello only looked. She did not come down, but Treena fluttered, nose twitching with the scent. Ello held her back. They watched for days. The food was always there, always fresh, and no traps. Then came the clothes, a small tunic sewn from soft linen, a cloak dyed with crushed blueberries. Not large, not heavy, sized for a child. And then came toys, a carved whistle, a skipping rope made from time, a little wooden bird painted bright red. Each gift was left without demand, without question. Yin would smile toward the trees, but never call out, never climb after them. She knew trust was a thing that had to grow. At last, Ello came halfway down the tree. She sat on a branch and let her feet dangle. She took a biscuit, biting into it with a small grin. Treena buzzed happily near her ear. Yin saw and said nothing, only went back to her lavender, pulled weeds, watered the beans. In time, Ello came closer. She began to listen to Yin's stories. Stories of her own life. How she had once travelled far across mountains. How she had been lonely too, until she made peace with the stillness of the woods. Ello did not say much. Her voice was saved for Treena, but she listened. Her eyes stayed bright and wide. And slowly she began to laugh at small things. Once, when Yin's cat chased a butterfly and landed in the bean patch, Ello laughed so hard she nearly fell from her branch. Treena scolded her, wings buzzing crossly, but she laughed anyway. Days passed, then weeks. Yin bought them books with pictures. She read aloud by lamplight, her voice low and even, like the steady hum of bees in summer. Ello leaned closer. Sometimes she fell asleep, cheek resting against tree bark. Treena curled against her arm. One evening, when the sky was purple and the first stars appeared, Yin looked up at Ello and asked softly, "Do you ever feel lonely, little one?" Ello thought. She touched Treena's small wing with her fingertip. Then she said, "I used to, but I'm strong and getting stronger." Her words floated in the quiet. The trees seemed to hold them, like they had been waiting to hear. Yin smiled. Her back ached less these days. Her garden seemed greener. She was not sure if she was helping Ello, or if Ello was helping her. Perhaps both. As summer deepened, Ello climbed less high, not always to the tippy top. Sometimes she lingered lower, where she could hear Yin's songs as she worked. Treena still darted upward when startled, but not as far, and not for as long. The cabin, the garden, the woman with her painted hands, they had become part of Ello's world. Not instead of the trees, but alongside them. And Ello, who once believed she was all alone, began to see something new. That strength was not only in the climbing, not only in being higher than the rest. Sometimes strength was in the waiting. Sometimes it was in the listening. Sometimes it was in the slow gathering and gentle caring of small things that wove one world into another. When autumn came, the leaves turned gold. Ello pressed one to her cheek. Treena twirled in circles around her head, and Yin watched from below. A basket of beans on her hip, smiling at the two of them. Ello whispered to Treena, "Maybe I am not alone after all." And the wind carried her words gently through the trees, as if the world itself had been waiting to agree.